Sipin Parvatiyama, Shivoham, Sipin Shivashankar, Sipin Girish, Sipin Sudeep Bhargava, Sipin Kumar Swami, Shivoham, Krishna Sharma, Sipin Motkula Anand, Komal, Rajendra, Shivoham, Sipin Roop, Gaurish, Bridget, and Kaumudi. Shivoham and welcome to the call Ashok Nichani, Shivoham, and all the other sips, the supreme immortal powers that are in each one of you. I bow down to you and I welcome you to this call. Today we have a message. What is the message? If you ask somebody, right? If you ask somebody, would you prefer to go to heaven or hell? What would they tell? And why am I asking you this question? So if you ask somebody, would you prefer to go to heaven or hell? What will they tell? Anybody would like to make an attempt on this question, please? If you ask somebody.
Can I say, sir?
Yes, please.
If you ask somebody, they would prefer going to heaven.
Why?
Because of the ignorance and the passion for the pleasure.
Because what they think, Komal, what do they think about heaven and hell? What do they imagine?
They feel heaven, there's a lot of happiness. And
nobody wants to go to
hell.
Correct.
For the suffering they will go through.
Okay. So why am I asking you this question, do you know?
No.
Okay, so we'll come to that. But anybody else?
Krishna Sharma.
Krishna Sharma, yes. What do you have to say, Krishna Sharma? So Komal, I will answer your question a little bit more. You give a very humble and honest answer. You ask anybody, Swarak jayega, narak jayega. Obviously, nobody wants to go to hell, right? And what do we say? Go to hell. Go to hell. You say or not? In many cultures, they put this. They show the finger. Go to hell. Go to hell. Like this. आप लोग आप ऐसा करते हैं लोग नहीं करते हैं? I don't know what it means. Anybody knows what it means to like this? What it means? Anybody knows? I don't know what it means. Okay. Krishna Sharma. Sir, what you are trying to say, sir?
I'm having one fundamental doubt. Whether heaven
little loudly, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Yes.
Now, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, little less, but speak little louder. Yeah.
Yeah. My doubt is, if somebody is asking whether this heaven and hell are really existing, what answer I have to give?
So you're coming with another question. Whether heaven and hell are really existing, forget about going there. When there's no heaven and hell, where is the question of me going to heaven or hell?
Yes.
But actually we come back, we come back to earth in a rebirth and we experience heaven and hell. So what would you prefer? You prefer to be born in a slum or a palace? You prefer to be born blind or healthy? You prefer to be born rich or poor? You prefer to be born in a terrorist family or a peaceful family?
All positive things only we want.
Obviously. So let me see where we are coming. Somebody else, Sudeep Bhargava, I see your hand up. You want to ask something?
Sir, there is absolutely no physical significance. I mean, there's no physical locality like a heaven or a hell.
Correct.
Because when we die, the body has to return back to the 5 elements. So body doesn't go to heaven or hell. And the Atma mixes with the consciousness, which is all around us. So even the Atma doesn't go to the heaven or hell. So I don't think, with my understanding, there's nothing like a heaven or hell. What we can perceive as heaven or hell is like what you rightly said, it would be our next Janma. I possibly must have done something good in my previous Janma. So in this Janma, I'm in a good family and I'm sitting in a Zoom call. So this is a heaven for me. And if my karmas were bad, then maybe I would have born in a slum or not so good family. That would have been a hell kind of thing. But that heaven or hell will depend on my karmas today. Because even after getting born in a good family, if I'm still doing my bad karma, then next Janma, I mean, I'll have to bear the fruits of whatever good or bad that I do. So heaven or hell is actually in our own hands. There is no special place which we go in some outer space. There is something like heaven or hell, definitely not, as per my understanding. It just depends on karma, what happens in your next life. That we can perceive as a heaven or hell.
Okay. Thank you, Sudeep. Again, a very good comment. So let me get you, tell you where I'm coming from. Lakshmi. Yes, Lakshmi, you want to say something, Lakshmi?
So already for this last time when I asked you the question, you have told me that there is no hell or heaven. There is no vehicle. If it is vehicle, you just let me know how to go so that first I will go. You have asked me.
Okay. So there's no heaven and hell. But if somebody asks you, you would prefer heaven
Can I
to
say
hell.
something? Can I say something here?
Yes, Kamode.
Yeah, so I think in the daytime only we pass through heaven and hell depending on our consciousness and how we react to situation and what is our thought process that time. Like one time, if I can say I am very blessed, I am in heaven right now. And the same time, if I say, "Arey, mere saath ye hua, isne ye kiya, this person is mean, this is happening to me, others are getting," I am in hell.
So what you're saying is a different perspective. We create heaven and we create hell, is what you're saying. And
Yes.
it is heaven and hell is our making. But you know, friends, what I thank you, Kamudi, and thank you, Lakshmi, and all of you who gave your
Guruji.
thought.
Guruji, pranam
Yes.
Guruji.
Pranam, bolo,
Guruji,
bolo.
we see generally people who are very rich, God don't bless them with the child. And another family we see so many members and hardly anything to eat. Some place peaceful environment is there. At other place they all are fighting. So hell and heaven are on the earth. For past karmas we are getting the reward now, and for this karma we will get in future. So they are only imaginary, like people believe that God lives in far distant land. Similar is the state of for hell and heaven. No hell or heaven, it is only on earth what we feel and suffer.
Okay. Girish, you want to thank you, Mataji. Girish?
When such a question is asked by us, someone may say, I want to do good karma and go to heaven.
Correct.
Without knowing that as a result of good karma, we need to come back.
Correct.
That we need to understand.
And we are coming back to?
Reap the fruits or suffer. That we need to understand. We have to go beyond karma. The main reason behind putting such a topic today is this. I feel.
Very good. But taking Girish's point, we don't realize that when we have to come back, we are going to experience heaven and hell both. We are going to experience, because nobody can escape from the suffering on earth. Body, mind, ego, you have to suffer. So my dear friends, I'm getting on to ask some question answer sessions and lovely perspectives. Today you saw very, very different perspectives about the subject. But what my point of view is this. If somebody asks me when I was not air, you want to go to heaven or hell? Anybody with common sense will say, I want to go to heaven. Nobody will say, I want to go to hell. Nobody in this world will say, I want to go to hell. How we curse people, we say, go to hell. We curse people like that. You go to hell. We curse like that. Now my point, my dear friends, why are 99% of the people in this world choosing hell? Why is only 1% of the world choosing heaven? Can you tell me? 99% of the world is choosing hell, and only 1 is choosing heaven. Why are they choosing hell? Can you tell?
Ignorance
Why
and
are they
attachment.
choosing hell? Can you tell?
Ignorance and attachments.
Ignorance and
Attachment.
attachment. Good. Krishna Sharma has come out with one of his Krishna Sharma type of answers.
Sirji, they want to come back again.
Yeah, why? They want to come back to hell?
Yeah, Sirji, if they come back to hell, they can enjoy both. If they go to heaven, they are not satisfied.
This is why Krishna Sharma gave the right answer, Ashok. He said people are ignorant. People are ignorant and people are attached. He gave 2 beautiful answers. Krishna Sharma said, see, people are ignorant. And did I tell you the story of heaven and hell? Did I tell you the story? You all know the story, right? Very famous story. 2 people, one man he went up, and then they told him, this is heaven and hell. So this is a comical story. God told him, where you want to go, heaven or hell, and both had a window. Have I told you all the story? He peeped inside, he peeped, and he peeped, and he peeped, and he peeped, heaven and hell. In heaven he saw all the people are happy, laughing. All people happy, laughing, joking. In hell he saw all people crying, hitting each other, slapping each other. So then he saw a little bit closely. He saw in heaven lot of tables of fruits, apples, mangoes, watermelons, so much. And he saw in hell also same tables, same apples, mangoes, watermelons. Then he saw in heaven people eating biryani, paratha, then makhanwala. In hell also he saw biryani, paratha, and makhanwala. But why people are crying in hell? Then he saw in hell, everybody was tied to a long spoon. Everybody's hand was tied to a long spoon. And what they were trying to do, they were trying to take the food from the long spoon and put, and they could not eat. And the food was hitting their face. And they were getting so angry, they were beating everybody else with the other spoon, with the spoon. But in heaven, what they found, people were taking the food from one spoon and feeding the others. One man was feeding another man was feeding the third person, the third man, because they had law, but because they were good people. So they were all feeding, they had long spoon in the hand. And they had no hand, the hand is tied like this. They could not eat, but they were using the spoon to feed others. My dear friends, that's a small story of heaven and hell. But to come back to Asker and your questions, people are ignorant. People are not following the path of spirituality. People are not following the path of enlightenment. People don't want to follow the path of the Buddha because they believe that the samsara is good. A lot of people are fooled. What are they fooled in believing? They are fooled into believing that the samsara is a lot of pleasure. Many Swamis, they say, I would like to come back. Is it good to come back, my dear friends? No. Whatever somebody fools you, don't believe that the right thing is to come back. It's not to come back. Our goal is to realize we are the divine soul and to become one with SIP. We have to become one with SIP. So we have to realize Prabhu paas hai, Prabhu paas hai. So that is the realization. Prabhu paas hai. We have to become one with that divine, that supreme immortal power. And therefore, if somebody wants to come on the path of enlightenment, that is heaven. Why are the people going to hell? 99% of the people are going to hell because you are lucky. You are all on the path of heaven because at least you are seeking the right. Today, this call may stop tomorrow. Suppose I am not there tomorrow, this call stops. You should not stop seeking enlightenment. You have to continue on the path of enlightenment till you reach the goal of liberation, of unification, of becoming one with SIP. You should not stop the journey. No. The journey is your journey. And I am just the road. I am just helping you, showing the path, how you should walk, where you should. I'm offering you a path. And I'm telling you that this is the path that will take you to heaven. So today was a pun. Today was a little trick. People want, when you ask heaven or hell, what will they tell? They will say heaven. But where are people going? They are going to hell. 99% of people are going to hell. Question answers. Administrator, anybody would like to ask a question? Let us start. So a question that comes to me, what is Maya, the cosmic illusion? How do you learn to get detached from it? Anybody will answer? What is Maya and how can you be detached from it? Anybody can tell? How can we be detached from Maya? Anybody?
So where we are living, that place is only Maya, sir. And around us, whatever we like, that is the attachment.
How can you be detached from Maya?
So just always think of God. Whatever we see, feel the presence. That is SIP, which we have promoted now.
But that will not remove the Maya. So anybody can tell me.
So whatever
What is-
we see, we should not be back of it.
So what is Maya, Lakshmi? What do you understand by Maya?
So whatever we see, we should not feel that that is mine, that is very nice.
Why we should not feel like that?
Because that is nothing. That's a drama.
That's an illusion. Whatever we see is Maya. Correct, Lakshmi? Whatever
Yes.
we are seeing is Maya. It appears to be. Actually, it is all drama.
It is not.
Actually, it is the illusion. Now, how to overcome that?
If he understands it is Maya, automatically he can come out of it.
Very good. Very good answer, Krishna Sharma. How? So, what they say in enlightenment, you know, Krishna Sharma? In enlightenment, what people say? People ask another question. People ask me, how to remove the darkness? Anybody knows how to remove the darkness?
Switch on the light.
When there is light, you don't have to remove the darkness. When there is light, you don't have to remove the darkness. When you switch on the light, what happens? The darkness disappears. There is no need to remove the darkness. So this is a wrong connotation of the mind. How to sweep out the darkness? How to question they ask? How to remove the ignorance? Anybody can answer? How to remove ignorance?
The knowledge will remove the ignorance. So you get the knowledge.
Sudeep, not knowledge.
Not knowledge. Okay.
Realization.
Okay.
Knowledge,
Agree.
Sudeep, knowledge will never remove ignorance. Sudeep.
I agree, sir. Agree.
Only realization.
True.
Okay. Thank you. Because this is the trick of the mind. The mind will say knowledge. No, knowledge is never going to get us there. That there's a lot of difference between knowledge and realization. There's a lot of difference between water and ice. Both may be the same thing, but water is water, ice is ice. Unless you crystallize knowledge, then only it becomes realization. Otherwise, it remains knowledge. It's like water. It doesn't become crystal like ice. Then, when you crystallize, you realize. Okay. Next question. Live questions priority. I have too many written questions, but live questions priority, please. I told you, you must ask questions to clarify your doubts. Please start.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, please. Yes, tell me, Gordon.
Sir, some people do intercaste marriage, sir. They don't believe in intercaste marriage.
Yeah.
They would get bribe and groom and bribe in the same caste.
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
Because they are following rituals and dogma and religion and culture and all the false superstitions. Correct? See, let me explain to you, Gordon. What is marriage? Marriage is when two people want to live one life. You agree with me? Anybody has it better? When two people, they want to live a life to be one. It may be a lion and lioness. Now, lion and lioness don't perform a ceremony. Anybody has seen a dog and a female, what they call bitch? Anybody seen the marriage? Anybody has seen marriage? I have seen the men and women creating marriage for their dogs. The men, we human beings are crazy like that. But only the human beings have got the institution of marriage. You don't see birds getting married. You don't see dogs getting married. You don't see cats getting married.
Yes, sir.
Now, marriage is basically for a man and a woman to become, because God has created in such a way that man needs woman, woman needs man. God has created like that. But instead of living together, they want to produce children. They want to produce a family. This is not created. This is not, the factory of marriage is not created by BMW or Mercedes-Benz. The institution of procreation and marriage has been created by God. God has created. God means the supreme immortal power. We should not use the word God. Has created that. So man wants to marry a woman and build a family. But because of our ignorance, we have got different religions, different cultures, different castes. And we start saying, because you're of different caste, you can't marry. Because of your different religion, you can't marry. Actually, what is the problem of one man of a different religion and one woman of a different religion marrying, we are creating complications because we are believing in the culture and the scripture, which makes no sense. As long as we believe in a SIP, not in a God, then my God and your God are not two different gods, it's one God.
Yes, sir.
But the problem is we human beings are ignorant. So Govardhan,
Yes, sir.
there is no limit to our ignorance. Have you heard the latest marriage, Govardhan? Have you heard the latest marriage? You heard?
No, sir.
Man marrying man and
Oh,
woman marrying woman.
yeah.
That is the biggest fashion in the world now. Parvati Amma, you know, man is marrying man and woman is marrying woman. You know it, Parvati Amma? You may be surprised. In your days, it used to be man marrying man, woman marrying woman. Parvati Amma is saying, no, never in my days, man marrying man and woman marrying. But today the world has reached that level. What should I say? What comment I should make? Anybody will ask, what comment? This is ignorance. If one man wants to live with a man, you live. I'm not saying don't live. Why are you marrying? So, Govardhan, this is
Sir.
ignorance, avidya. This is mithya, all the ignorance. In reality, marriage itself is a question mark. And I don't want to touch that subject. It's very touchy subject, very complicated subject. People get upset if you talk on that subject. Because marriage is a bandhan. And
Yes,
the
sir.
goal of life is mukti. The goal of life is freedom. Those of you who are already married, with apologies, you have to try to find a way to reach mukti with the marriage. Being in a marriage, not breaking the marriage. But those who are not married, you have to think 10 times. Do I want bandhan of marriage or do I want mukti? And religion and caste and creed should not make any issue. In a genuinely successful marriage, it is two human beings who want to live as one couple, as one. Thank you. Next question, please.
Thank you, sir.
Next question. Any live question?
I had one fundamental doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
This SIP which is inside us,
Yeah,
always it is present.
yeah,
The thing is, all the other things available with us are only bodies, either Sthola Sarira, Sushma Sarira, or Karan Sarira.
correct.
How is the Karan Sarira, Sushma Sarira, why we are bothering so much? This mind, intellect, or this whatever yesterday we have discussed, Ahankara, ego, those things are only bodies. Whereas this SIP, what you are telling, supreme immortal power, it is a power. It is not at all should not worry about the bodies at all, whatever it is possessing. Yesterday you have told, yesterday or day before yesterday we had a discussion.
Yeah,
If ego is removed, then SIP will be realized like that.
yeah. What is? Yeah. Can you hold your mic closer to you? Your mic is very far away. Now just hold the mic near your mouth.
This one, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah. Now much better.
The thing is, there are two independent entities.
Yeah.
One is power,
Yeah.
the energy field, and the another one is a body which is related to some physical nature.
Correct.
Why you have put a question? When the ego is removed, SIP will be realized. SIP is always available, whether
Correct.
you realize it or not. It
Correct.
is available.
Absolutely.
Only when it is when you forget about the body, whether it is a subtle body or the physical body, then only the SIP will be known to you. That too not to your mind. It is known to something which you cannot imagine. Only at that time only will be knowing.
It is known to your consciousness. It is not. You become conscious of it.
Yes, we will be
Okay.
conscious. Awareness will increase.
Correct. That awareness is consciousness. So what
Yeah.
is your question?
No, the day before yesterday you have put a question, sir.
Okay, I don't know in what context, Krishna Sharma. See, understand the point is, as long as we think we are the ego, the SIP disappears. The SIP goes into the it goes in the background. But when the SIP comes in the foreground, the ego goes in the background. The minute the SIP comes forward, if we realize what is ego, ego is nothing. It is an imaginary existence.
It is a part of subtle body.
Correct.
It is a part of subtle body. It is a
Yeah.
body. It is
Yeah.
an entity. It is a separate entity. Whereas SIP is a separate entity.
Yeah.
This,
But you
this
also,
entity will be known to you only when you forget about the other entities which are not related to it.
but that subtle entity that you are talking about is because of Karan Sharir. And the Karan Sharir is nothing but avidya. When you remove the Karan Sharir, then there is no subtle body. The subtle body is born only because of ignorance. In reality,
I agree.
in reality, there is no Sthul Sharir also. The Sthul Sharir also, every particle of the human body is only Sip.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
ultimate reality, but we don't realize it.
That is true.
And yeah, we are not realizing because we are not enlightened, because we are caught in this Maya, because we are caught in this ignorance. That's why we are caught. So every day, Krishna Sharma, every day we have to improve our awareness.
Here I have to question one more doubt is there.
Yes, please.
Finally, who is realizing the SIP? You are told consciousness. But what is that consciousness? Who is realizing it?
This is the most classical question in the journey of enlightenment in the world. What you've asked. Who is realizing is the ignorant one. The one who is ignorant realizes it. Because the moment you realize it, then there's nobody, that the ignorant one disappears. Once the enlightenment comes, the darkness disappears. Just now we spoke about that, Krishna Sharma.
Yeah.
Then what happens is only we are like, when you realize I am the driver and the car is the car, then the car doesn't become you anymore, because you already know the car is not me.
Yes.
But you continue driving the car as long as you are the driver of the car.
Because it is a vehicle for us.
Exactly. Till such time that we reach the state of moksha, nirvana, at the moment of death, we are still supposed to be living in that physical body. That body is a manifestation. That body is an instrument. Sorry. That body is an instrument for the SIP. The SIP needs the body to become one with the divine ultimately.
Okay. Now,
But
further I will think about it.
But Krishna Sharma, even though I may tell this to you, immediately the mind will come to you and the mind will come to me, and they will confuse us. Then again
No,
for
the last 2 days, this doubt is lingering in my mind. So today I have asked it. It will happen like that for me.
No, don't hesitate. And tomorrow again, I'm telling, this is the most classical question. Who is the one who is enlightened? This is in the question in the Upanishad also. This is in the question in Viveka Chudamani. This is the question in Aparoksha Anubhuti. This question in every important text of the revered masters. This question is there. It is there asked to Guru Nanak. It is asked to Ramana Maharshi. It is asked to Adi Shankara. It is asked to Vivekananda. Every revered saint in this world is asked this question. Who is the one who is going to be enlightened? Who is the one who is going to be liberated? Is it body? Is it mind? Is it ego? Is it soul? See, an answer to this question, Krishna Sharma,
Yes, sir.
the answer to this question cannot be given in words. This is why it is called Aparoksha Anubhuti. Because words will only trick you. I can give in words, verbally I can explain to you. But words are not capable. It is like when I start singing in Hindi, Bridget doesn't understand.
Even
How
I
much
cannot
I
understand.
speak in Hindi, Bridget will say, oh, good song, good bhajana, but she doesn't understand what I'm singing.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
I will further think about it, sir.
But I hope you understood what I'm trying to say.
No, again, I am going to ask you some more questions on it. But
No,
maybe
you
after
can-
2 days.
No, it's a very challenging thing to ask, and you see, we can have a discussion on it, but
Yes, sir.
it has to be experienced. This is why it is called enlightenment. This is why it is called realization. What is this high font? Why is this complicated term called realization? Why it is not called knowledge? It is called realization because Krishna Sharma, it is not simple knowledge. It is like that. It is a realization.
Sir, one more doubt and 1 more minute. Can you give me one more minute, sir?
Please take 2 minutes. Tell me.
Just now you have used the word that experienced.
Yeah.
That experience and ananda, who is actually getting it? I am not able to understand.
Because you need to experience it to understand. So let me explain to you. At this point of time, the experiencer is experiencing in the body. Because the moment there is no body, then there are no senses to experience.
Yeah.
And there is no mind, man, buddhi, chitta, ahankar is there
Yeah,
to
that is-
experience.
That is my doubt.
And therefore, beyond that, that the soul or the slip that is there, that is itself the Ananda. That does not have to experience Ananda. It is Ananda.
Okay.
But when you realize that sip, then you experience that sip, which is Ananda in you. And then you let go of the body and the mind and the ego. Nothing touches you. You become सत के चित में रहता, आनंदा में रहता, सच्चिदानंदा हाल है वो, सच के एहसास से होता, आनंदा में रहता, जो सच का चित करता. This song explains the whole thing. that जो सत्य के चित्त में रहता, वो आनंदा में रहता, वो सच्चिदानंदा में रहता. Now this has to be realized.
Yes.
Because the mind will not let you understand it. You cannot understand this. You have to realize it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions before we close? We have 2-3 minutes to close. I have a typed question. Sagai Raj, why there are many people believe in Vaikuntha Ekadashi? Who can explain to me Vaikuntha Ekadashi? Today is supposed to be Kartik Somvar. Who can explain to me Vaikuntha Ekadashi and Kartik Somvar? Who can explain these two things to me, please? Anybody knows?
Ignorance.
No, I'm not asking. I'm not asking for the air answer. I'm asking for the real answer.
It means that God will now wake up from his sleep. According to the Hindu Shastras, God sleeps at one particular day, and today he wakes up.
You're talking about what? Vaikuntha Ekadashi or Kartik Somar? What are you talking
Vaikuntha
about?
Ekadashi.
So this Vaikuntha Ekadashi, she is telling, now today she's telling us God wakes up. God was sleeping. God, Bhagwan neend kar rahe the, abhi Prabhu ne utha. That is why I told you all, forget this concept of God, because it is a super ignorance. You
Yes.
think only of sip. The moment you start thinking Vaikuntha Ekadasi and Jingle Bell and Christmas and Santa Claus, and you believe in Kartik Somvara, all these things are all big mythological stories. They have got no relevance. They have got no meaning. They have just taken you round and round in circles. And one day you will die. One day you will die. You will not find out who am I. And then you will come back in a new body. The me will again be, and you will never be free. So my dear friends, these are the question answers. Sometimes you all must realize coming on this session is very important, because like a simple thing, last question of today should change your life. The one question today should change your life completely. Or what Krishna Sharma asked today. You know, every question to me is so valuable. Every question is so valuable. Today's question, what is Vaikuntha Ekadashi? What all stories people tell. And we believe. And the first thing we believe. Today God is sleeping and God woke up, and today God is eating mithai, and today God is giving darshan, and now and we are like fools, we are believing. We are believing. Therefore, I told you the new book title is God is not God. God is Sip. All these Ekadashi and all these full moon and new moon and this Kartik and all these months and Adi Masam and Ashadam and all this will go for a toss. You put all those things, you lock it and put in your cupboard and lock it with the lock and throw the key in the ocean. Close it, be done with it, and be free. Be free from all this nonsense. Be free from the rituals. Be free from superstitions. Be free, my dear friends. Our goal is mukti. Our goal is moksha. Our goal is freedom. I hope all of you will work towards getting that state of freedom. I wish all of you are free, are free. And you must remember, every question, every answer adds to our journey of freedom. This 30 minutes is worth investing. It can be the most important 30 minutes of your life. And like I said, if somebody who's on this path, you help them, the biggest karma you're doing, good karma, the karma yoga. So we must have more people who believe in this so that the world starts living a life of enlightenment and goes away from the state of avidya and believing in Vaikuntha Ekadashi and Kartik and all these things. With that note, I bow down to you. Thank you for being on this call. God bless. Shivoham. May SIP in you awaken.